Welcome back to A Corporate Time. We were trying to figure out before we started this how many times we've had Craig in talking about this specific event.
And more is always better, so I say we go with 4.
Yeah. I think it's been
because it might be 3, but I think it might be 4 different times. But I'm the worst person to even ask this because I have the worst memory on the show, and I don't
you guys
know.
are fighting over how much time you've had with me.
Yes, exactly. We're very jealous lovers. You know, like when anybody is considered like an acquaintance of friends of ours, we get very possessive.
This is a super unique event that happens every year before Fest. And Craig gets all the international bands, or at least as many as he can, that are coming over to the United States for Fest to do a pre-show at Will's Pub.
Yes.
And it features all these foreign bands from around the world. It's called Foreign Descent. It's October 21st.
My foghorn's broken. I'm sorry.
And how you doing, Craig?
Good to see you, man. Hey, thanks for being here, dude.
Love it.
So,
Foreign Descent number 9.
Number 9.
Number 9.
So recently, I've thought a lot about this, and tell me if you agree, because I see certain events that go on, because we've been doing this for a while now.
We have listeners that are like, I was there last year. I met Craig. It's a great event. You came to the right place.
Love it.
Yeah, we got the punkers here.
And there's certain events that are one-off, really cool, unique events that happen all the time that I start thinking about. I'm like, wait a minute. If this one person stops doing this, no one's going to ever pick it up. No one is not going to exist anymore because Craig is the only one that I feel
he's the curator.
He's got the passion to put it together every year. You know what I'm saying? Like
it's a lot of work.
For instance, if I see something that is making an insane amount of money, I'm like, that'll go on. You know, someone will pay. Someone will take it over.
But the one-man team who's talking to more custom agents to get amps and different guitars free from custom so they can make it to the stage on Will's. That is a very, very thankless job, Tom.
But all to put together some super unique event in our backyard.
Some delicious art.
That will never happen again if Craig stops doing
this.
That's
how important you agree,
are.
Craig? Very important.
I'm all about cultural enrichment. No, but you're right. I mean, this isn't a money-making thing.
Yeah.
This is just something that I fell into sort of by mistake in 2014 and booked an Australian band and thought, let's book the rest of them as foreign bands, and I love this more than anything, man. This is my favorite.
Oh, it's so cool to hear that in your voice.
And it's a super unique situation that started you to do this to begin with, and the fact that you do it every year kind of like it prompts you to keep doing it. You like doing it. And then it's like, well, when Craig, for instance, like when me and Daniel stopped doing this podcast, this kind of thing, there will be no more free beer fests.
No.
There'll be,
that's what I thought you were going to say. I thought
that's not what you had kids for?
Yeah, I thought you were going to say. I thought you were going to say the Bad Business Beer Fest. Yeah, exactly.
That will not exist after me and Daniel stop.
I don't even think you guys understand how tired Tom is of it. I don't think you get it. Like, you guys better go.
There's no money
that beer. You better lick every drop off the ground because he is this close to just saying, I've had it. Do you ever have those moments? Because it is a lot of work. How long have you done it? 9 years.
Yeah, well, it's been since 2014, so because of COVID, it spans longer because we had a couple of years we couldn't do it. No, I'll do this as long as Fest is a thing. My biggest fear is Fest ending, which no one's talked about that.
No.
That's never been like a risk, but that's the only way I can do this.
Well, the organizers of Fest, I think they figured out how to make money out of that.
I think they're secretly kind of corporate, man. I see the tickets. I see the venues. I also see the map of how big it is now, and I'm like, hold on a second.
It's incredible. I go every year. I've been going for like 15
It's a Florida
years.
staple, right? Like, I feel as far as rock and roll goes, I feel like it is on the map, and people from all across the world think of it now.
Have they brought in some major sponsors for Fest?
Some big ones, some bigger beer sponsor. I think PBR for a year. I don't know what the big ones are this year.
Okay, yeah, I was just wondering because I know it's punk rock, and that's like kind of anti-establishment.
But you get the biggest bands. Like, you could go there. Like, you could go there and see a band that's from Poland that has maybe 6 people in front of it, and then literally next up is the Descendants, and it's like, okay, there we go.
Yeah, I'm just saying is there's never going to be brought to you by Pepsi, right? But like,
Let's hope not.
Yeah, I mean that would change it a lot.
The crowd will.
And here's
like
Dua Lipa, which I would watch, but it's not time and a place, right? Time and a place.
Yes.
So Craig, let's talk about the bands this year. Let's just go over the list.
Yeah,
Who do we
let's
got?
hit it.
Yeah, so we've got 8 bands from 4 different countries. We're really Italian heavy this year. We got 4 of the 8 bands are Italian. Yeah. So
Buongiorno.
No, that's France.
But,
I think it's DiGiorno. That's what you meant.
You know what? Craig's really on your team. He really pivoted quickly for you.
I got you, man.
I'm glad that you do the same thing I do all day. It's like DiGiorno.
Yeah. So we've got Schlettri, Loyal Cheaters, Cox. Censor that if you need to.
No,
you don't need
you're
to.
fine. They're chickens.
And then who's the 4th Italian band?
We got the Loyal Cheaters. We got
Schlettri, Cox. Regrowth. Which is the first like real hardcore band that I've had, and I am like so stoked to have a hardcore band on this.
Yeah,
year.
Real Growth. I think I was emailing you. I was going through the list of the bands one morning, and we were
sick.
We were setting up, having you come in, and I was going through the bands. Yeah, they're really, really good bands. But yeah, why Italy? Did it just the cards fell that way? Why did we get more Italian bands this year?
Yeah, the way it works for me doing this event is all these bands get told about my event when Fest confirms them, so they often reach out to me. There were just a lot of Italian bands that reached out to me, and they're really good. So why not? I don't get to control the bands. It's what Fest has to offer, so it's like I have a menu to order off of. And I usually start with the bands that reach out to me because that means that they're really interested in what I'm doing.
How many of the other countries' bands are actually doing foreign descent comparative to like how many are actually going to Fest? Are there?
We have about half of the bands, foreign bands playing Fest or playing foreign descent.
Okay, so you got a lot.
A lot.
Yeah. So I just didn't know. I was like, I wonder how many bands come from different countries to Fest to begin with.
That's a good question.
Yeah, there was a Japanese band I tried to get called Age of Kid. They're like a punk ska band, and their scheduling just didn't work out. So sometimes like a band really wants to do it, but I mean it's hard to get over here.
Yeah, especially with, and we've talked about this before when you've been on
instruments.
Yeah, a lot of the instrumentation, a lot of the things that these guys need, especially if you're like a unique act, costuming, the way that you look. I mean, a lot of these guys are borrowing instruments, a lot of them are borrowing drum kits. I mean, it's tough.
That's where the drummer really gets screwed. When you're traveling to a different country with all your drum equipment, and you've dealt with this before.
I have a drum kit every year for the band, so I provide gear for 2 guitars, a bass, and a drum kit, and then they need to provide instruments and drum breakables. So I have cymbals at my house right now for Schlettri. The Italian band's already ordered them in the U.S., had them shipped to my house. So this will go on over the next few weeks as bands figure out getting their merch over to me because they can't fly with it. If they fly with it, they're going to get stopped at customs for not getting proper visas to come over to play music, even though they're losing money. No one's making money.
Right.
It's just the U.S. has terrible rules for small bands. It's not friendly. Yeah, whereas the Europe and Canada is much easier.
They're like, what do we have here? You got an acoustic guitar? You're planning to make some money in the subway?
Smash his guitar.
Well, I do like the old school getting off a ship. And we're like, oh, what does this guy think he's
doing?
Do
you think you're? Hey, look everywhere. We got John Denver here. Smash his guitar. It all ends with a smashed guitar.
Which, by the way, meanwhile, you can come over here with a laptop and I'm sure make 100 times more money. You know what I'm saying? What are you gonna make with a guitar? You know what I'm saying? Like,
too many guitars over here.
How many?
We got too many guitars.
How many gigs are paying gigs do you think they're doing at this point? Anyway. So
when you line them all up, when you find out that you're Italian heavy, does that are the Italian bands like, all right, like we went, like, or is it like easier for them, or like any of that, are any of them touring together, or any of them bands that know each other?
Schlettri and Cox are friends. They're touring together, so they're going to do a little run around Florida.
Oh, nice.
Around Fest. So they talk to each other. Like Loyal Cheaters reached out to me to find out, like, hey, can I get stuff into the country without you having to pay custom fees? And I was like, well, Schlettri already shipped me stuff from overseas and I didn't pay anything. Go talk to them. So some of these bands, they might be in the same country, but they could be really far apart from each other and not maybe even have played shows together.
Tom, you want to hear some Italian punk rock?
Yeah.
All right, here are the godfathers. These are considered the godfathers of the Italian punk scene in the 80s.
Not playing Foreign Descent.
Not playing Foreign Descent, but this is just like, he's, I was talking to Craig. I got inspired. I was like, is there an Italian punk scene? Of course there's an Italian punk scene. There's a punk scene everywhere.
Now, if it does not go as like fully into the stereotype that I imagine, I'm going to be disappointed.
Okay. Interesting take.
If it just sounds like a regular punk, I need some sort of stereotypical Italian feel.
You need like a Figaro. You need like that.
I mean that Mario Brothers, whatever you want.
Okay, let's hear what we got. This is Nagazioni is the name of the band, and I cannot pronounce the song. Hopefully, there's no Italian cursing in it. This is from 1984, Tom. Italian Punk Kings.
Bring it.
Oh, this is 80s punk rock.
Yeah.
It's a good start.
All right.
Oh, I'm into this. Need to get a reunion for Foreign Descent 10.
I knew you'd laugh at it. Because he's like,
now,
I knew you'd laugh at it.
That was very unpleasant to listen to. I don't know. I think everybody would agree with me. If you thought that was pleasant, you were wrong. I'm sorry.
I'm shattering everything you thought of it. Every Italian. Every time you're in an Olive Garden and you're hearing Frank Sinatra blasting through the speakers, imagine if they just threw a little Nagazioni in there.
Well, I mean, it's the 84. I mean, the 80s punk rock was really raw.
I loved it.
You know,
that
was cool. I'm gonna go listen to that later.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. Yeah, it's fun, man. There's a couple of other bands that are a little more political, and I try to stay away from those guys.
But it's Italian politics, which we don't understand.
Yeah, we don't. I was talking to Craig about that. It's like, I don't know what that means. They're like, this is a leftist but pseudo-centered political band from Italy. I'm like, I don't know what that means. I don't know what a pseudo-centered leftist means in Italian politics.
But then also, in other countries, they're like, left means right.
Yeah,
you're like, oh, okay.
In England, yeah, absolutely.
You're like, what?
I don't get it.
So, Craig, I'm curious if you've noticed if there are any countries that are more punk rock band heavy than other countries. Because I would imagine, like South America, how many
Can't
bands...
say England. You can't say England. I feel like England, everybody's going to try to be a punk band in England.
My only knowledge of this comes from I think this is like 2006, 2007 or whatever. Remember when NoFX did their Passport show? It was like they played on Fuel. It was like before the internet and social media was
But it was
huge.
HD.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that 4K garbage. It was HD. And I was like, gets no better than this.
But I remember they went down to Brazil and they played a gigantic, like there's
it was
a huge
100,000 people, it looked like.
There's a huge Brazilian punk rock scene and South America punk rock. I mean, we've talked to Tony Munget about it. And so I imagine that a lot of punk rock bands come out of South America, right?
Yeah, I've got two bands from Chile this year.
Okay.
So one of them's played before. They had played back in, I don't remember. They're called Talking Props. And they're touring with a band called Waterglass, also from Chile. And then I've got a band from Panama called Alpha Whores, which is a duo that is so cool and different than any other band I've had on Foreign Descent. And the guy from that band played back in Foreign Descent 3 with a different band. So, like, there's some, like, network. The band Schlettry, that guy played a couple of years ago in a different band that played Foreign Descent. So these band members kind of keep in touch when an opportunity presents itself for them to come back to Fest and do Foreign Descent again.
We're getting some love for the loyal cheaters in the chat room.
Yes.
Yeah, people say they're worth the price of admission. And again, guys, this is a reasonably priced event. It's $20, 18 and up at the door. It's October 21st, 2024, 7 p.m. is when things kick off.
18 and up, but if you have a kid you want to bring, you can bring your kid.
Okay.
Kids
now what
can
if
come
I
with
have
a
a daughter?
parent.
I have a daughter who's 16, but she has a kid.
Okay.
Is that it's a Florida thing?
Multi-generational.
It's a Florida thing. I have a daughter.
Yeah.
I don't talk about her a lot. I only talk about my daughter Maisie, but I do have a 16-year-old daughter who is currently pregnant with twins, and she has a son.
I do like announcing a rule and then right after, then
Canceling.
It's 18 and up, but if you do want to come under 18, you are allowed to. Okay. Well, then just say anything goes.
No, that'll get you into trouble. The anything goes gets you into trouble.
Craig, also, have you ever had any bands come out of Africa or Switzerland?
I know what you're doing. Okay,
you
balanced it. You balanced it.
Yeah. I realized if I just went one,
you gotta go ultimate dark, ultimate light.
Because I feel like no punk rock comes out of Switzerland or Africa.
Dude, there's got to be punk rock out of Africa.
I haven't. No African band has played foreign descent or fest that I can think of that would be amazing.
We should make that happen.
Yeah, right.
Like because there's
there's gotta be a punk rock band.
100%.
Oh, for sure. Probably a bunch.
Google punk rock band in Africa.
I'll just type it into ChatGPT.
But it's probably South Africa.
Is the most famous punk
Say
band
punk rock out of North Africa.
North Africa.
Yeah.
What if it comes back and it's like, there are no punk bands in North Africa?
There probably
and then it goes, ha, ha, ha. And then, hold on a second, ChatGPT, you're racist. One of the most famous bands from North Africa is Zabeda from Algeria, known for their politically charged lyrics and fusion of punk rock and traditional Algerian music. They became prominent in North Africa punk scene, blending their rebellious spirit. They're really Zazira.
All right.
Zazira is the name of the band. Zazira.
So maybe
they're a really political North African punk band.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and I had a Switzerland band back in 2015, the second foreign descent. They're called Uber U.
Okay.
They're still around, too, and they're awesome.
Okay.
Great band.
I like Lift You better.
Yeah, me too. I get 5 times
What
points.
happened to Uber and Lyft? Do you use it anymore?
I use Lyft.
Do you? Yeah, so you're just like
when
me.
I need to, yeah.
Uber, too many rapists.
No, it's all the same.
But that's why everybody changed. I think that's why everybody changed. Like, cause low key, I felt like everybody low key was like Uber, rapist. Right?
It's all the same.
But no, Lyft is different.
Yeah,
and if you come to pick me up and you're running both lights, I'm out. I'll cancel it right there on you. I'll cancel it on you.
I want you to be loyal to
I
one.
do. I like loyalty. Loyalty is dead.
So, Craig, let's go over how people can get tickets and all that.
Yeah. So the show, again, it's October 21st. It's a Monday at Will's Pub. Doors at 7. Bands start at 8. You can come for 3 hours and see like 5 bands. It's quick turnover. You can go to foreigndescent.com to get tickets, or you can go to the willspub.org website to get tickets.
It's as real a punk show as you'll ever see at as real a punk venue as you'll ever be in.
Yeah. Best venue in town.
It is. It's the right venue for the.
I'll never do it anywhere else.
I don't think it would work. It's got to be. I think it's got to be at Will's. It's got to be at Will's.
And again, we're lucky that Craig put this passion project together to begin with, because you're not gonna get this anywhere else.
He's the guy.
You're gonna get like.
That's why we're so quick to book you, because I'm like, oh yeah, we always love to help out, because we have so many listeners that love you. We legitimately have had hundreds of listeners that have gone and say like, oh yeah, this is a legitimate punk show.
Yeah, and then you're gonna see punk bands from different countries all perform together, and that's the only thing
truly
on
unique.
The bill that night.
It's
awesome.
so special for some of these bands. For almost all of these bands, it's their first time in the United States. For some of the bands, that show, Foreign Descent, is going to be the first time they've ever played in the United States.
Do you ever film it?
Yeah, we have full set
Yeah.
of every band, starting with Foreign Descent, 5 or 6, I can't remember. Shout out to Blaine, who's my videographer.
That's awesome.
This year, I think we're going to be running 5 cameras. Like, he's one person, but he's a wizard. It's awesome. All of those are on YouTube. So if you search Foreign Descent on YouTube, you can find full sets from the last 4 or 5 Foreign Descents.
Somebody should be like documenting you doing this, taking all this footage. Not us. We're too busy. But somebody should be doing this, and like,
someone write this down.
Yeah, somebody write. This is a great idea, and then like go and telling this story, because it's a cool story.
That's very flattering. Thank you. I mean,
Right?
it's a passion project for me, and I love it.
Yeah, because in the future, Craig, like this is an awesome documentary about, and these bands. And what's interesting too, I always enjoy like seeing a band that I'm not familiar with, but that has a huge following somewhere else.
Yes.
So it's like this band, there are thousands of people that go to these bands shows in a different country that are loyal fans.
Yeah.
And then I've never even heard of them, and I'm watching them in a really small, cool, intimate venue all play together. Where if they were like, let's say, two of the bands are from the same area.
Yeah.
Like they would draw a lot of people from their area.
Totally.
Way bigger than you could ever fit in Will's Pub. You know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah,
and then you see them all. And like that's something interesting to me when like there are thousands of fans of this band I'm watching in a small intimate club, and I'm like, man, this is crazy that this is happening.
It reminds me of there's a cool disconnect between like, it's not cool, but it's like there's a disconnect between like somehow like I think the just basic nerdo white guy, you don't think that there are like South American rock bands that are as big as like any other radio rock band, and then you'll see a band like Mana go to like the Amway and sell it out 3 nights. I look at that, I'm like, oh, it makes you feel. It's a cool way of feeling kind of tiny and realizing that the world is so big.
Yeah, I had a band last year called Fjord from Germany, and in Germany they sell out 1,000-capacity venues every show.
Yeah, they're
and
a
here
legitimate
they're playing
big
in
band.
front of less than 200 people.
Yeah.
And Slade, maybe the best set that's ever played Foreign Descent. Watch that on YouTube. It's incredible.
There you go. You've got your homework. Well, hey, man, thanks so much for coming in, as always. Of course. We appreciate it. Good luck with the event. I know that we have tons of listeners in the chat room that are interested in it. Again, guys, foreigndescent.com. 7 p.m. is when doors open, October 21st, 2024, and $20 gets you in the door. Is there any other way people can help out? Or
no, come to the show, support it, tell people about it.
All right.
You know, if you know someone, if you can't make it, get 5 other people to go. It's a great time.
Awesome.
Tom and Dan, thank you guys.
You got it,
no
man.
problem.
We'll see you next year.
We will be right back. All right, we are not going
We're
anywhere
not going
because
anywhere,
right when we Craig's like, I didn't get to tell you about this letter. And then
Yeah.
he pulled a letter out. I was like, oh my God.
I thought it was a gun, but it was a letter. And you know what? I'm okay with letters.
So what is this?
So this kind of like goofy idea of it being a Monday show, and people are like, Monday, oh, I got to work the next day, or I got school the next day. So I'm doing custom excuse letters.
Okay.
So if you want me to write on official Foreign Descent letterhead,
okay, all right,
a letter so you can be excused from work or school on Tuesday, just hit me up through Instagram.
I love it. It's thick-ass paper, too, man. You get you some thick paper.
Staples comes through, man.
Yeah, when he sends it to you, you just print that out on some thick...
No, you have to come to the show and I hand it to you.
It?
I'm not mailing it. You got to show up.
I love it.
Now, I will say, if I'm the manager of Beef O'Brady's, I'm going to slap that letter out of your hand, and then you will be fired if you try to hand me that nonsense, because I will not accept that as nothing. In fact, I will be more mad because I'll be like,
some kind of practical joke?
Why didn't you just tell me you were sick?
You were there, listen. You were there.
Just lie.
This was Craig's Italian punk rock. You there, listening to the Chef Boyardee boys?
Yeah.
And Will, you're there with your little punk rock friends.
Yeah.
Get back in there and start frying those wings.
So we appreciate that, Craig.
Yeah. I love that.
But I will just warn everybody: do not present that to your boss. They will fire you.
I mean, Craig is presenting.
Do present it. Yeah. Do present
it. Well,
it.
You're like telling people it's like legal tender.
This counts. It's official.
Just tell them you have food poisoning like everybody else, or COVID again.
COVID still works. In fact, I think
COVID
now,
does still work.
You know why it works better now is when you say it, you're like, hey, man, I got people are like, you know what? He stayed out. He's a good guy.
But by the way, if I'm the manager, you tell me you have COVID, I'm like, get in here. I do not care. I've got COVID too.
How many jobs do you have?
I have I have the long form COVID. I've never not had it.
No excuse. All right.
Thanks so much, man. We appreciate it. And guys, we'll be right back. Welcome back to A Corporate Time.
Let's do some voicemail.
All righty. The voicemail. 2 ways to leave voicemails for us. We'd love you to do it because, we're always looking for stuff to talk about if you got questions. 1-844-TOMNDAN. If you call that, boom, you can leave a message. Or you can get our free app. If you download that, you can hit a little button that says mediocre messages and leave us a message like this one right here. Do you remember when we were talking about the Eagles and the sideline guy? We couldn't remember his name.
The Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah,
the bodyguard.
Yeah, do you remember his
Big
name?
Ronnie or whatever.
Big Don. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think it's Big Don.
Yeah, BDM Neil here. Listening to the most recent Friday Free Show, you guys mentioned Big Dom. That's his name from the Eagles that got like famous because he was always on the sideline. He's like basically Nick Sirianni's like emotional support person.
He's big dumb. He's stupid. He shouldn't be there. Get him off the field. Right? Get him off the field.
Well, they took him off for a while after he got into some.
Didn't he push somebody down?
Yeah, it's interesting because I watch football and
it reminds me of the Costco guy.
Yeah.
Big dumb. Like if you look like that and you're big and you're dumb and you kind of lumber around and you look like the Sopranos, I judge you. I judge you hard.
So we've seen it happen a million times when the opposing player, because these guys are running 240s as fast as possible.
Human bullet.
And then they run into the sidelines of the other team. And what happens, like they run into, and then now they're surrounded by the other team, and they're just talking mad ass to each other, and then
you really see it on the show Receiver. You'll see them run out of bounds, and then they're in a sea of, and you can hear the other players. It's like being in jail for 5 seconds. You know what I mean? Like it's like everyone's like, they're all like yelling at you. Yeah. People are pushing you. The coach is pushing you. Somebody's tapping you on the head. They do that move, and it's so disrespectful. And I know I would do it because I am competitive and I have a temper. You do that move where, like, when you do a good move, the person that was covering you, when they blow the coverage, you pat their helmet. You know what? You do that move where you're like patting their helmet.
Passive aggressive.
Yeah, you're like, good little baby. Yeah. Oh my God. Oh, I'd be fighting with people.
Yeah.
I don't have what it takes. I'm too reactionary. I can't keep my cool.
Oh yeah.
I'm too reactionary. I could never do it.
You're the guy punching the other guy in the helmet.
I take my helmet off and I'm just smashing him with my helmet.
Yeah. That's called the Myles Garrett.
Yeah, it's bad. You shouldn't do that.
Anyway, let's
go with this one right here. This one is about PAs versus doctors.
Hey guys, I was just listening to the Weird Job with the PA, and it just reminded me that I recently went in for my first colonoscopy. So just the way I am, I'm like making jokes to the staff, to the nurses, and then the PA anesthesiologist, he comes over, not anesthesiologist, the PA comes over. He's like, I'm going to be giving you anesthesia, and he's told me he's going to give me propofol. And I said, oh, that's the good stuff, huh? Like Michael Jackson used. And he's like, oh, yeah, I got fired from that job. Anyway.
I like that. How do you like that? Those guys, I like it. It's a little give and take. We got a vaudeville show going over. That's what I want. It's like, say goodnight, Gracie. Good night, Gracie. That's what I want. I want to do an act with my colonoscoper. The guy, I have to do that. I have to line up for that.
No, the colonoscopy.
I have to get in queue for that. So I want my colonoscoper to be, that's what I call him. I want him to be chirping me up a little bit.
The point is, I was busy joking with the doctor, saying, get a good angle. I'll tag you in Instagram pictures. What's your handle? Yada, yada, yada. Making everybody kind of laugh or whatever to ease my nerves. And then, but when the PA started joking back with me, it kind of unsettled me. I was like, wait a minute, you're not supposed to be telling jokes. Kind of like this guy you guys are talking to. He's telling me jokes the whole time. But anyway, that's it. And I can confirm that that stuff is like good stuff. I see why, like he said, Michael Jackson was using it. They asked me, he's like, as soon as you put the medicine, he's like, you feel okay? I'm like, yeah, the ceiling's a little wavy. And next thing you know, I was being woken up. It was all done. So, also, public service announcement. Everybody, if you're over 50, get your colonoscopy. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, there you go. Over 50. It's under 50. You're supposed to do it at 40 now. Or 45, 40, 45?
I don't think it's 40.
They lowered it. It's 40. It might be 45.
Yeah, maybe.
It might be 45.
Although, when they lower things like that, I do feel like it's an insurance thing.
I know. I said the same thing.
Yeah, it seems like an insurance thing just so you could
get me in there.
A lot of more money.
Get some of my butt money.
So
you ain't giving my butt money.
I agree with doctors joking around I want my doctor. Remember the doctor we talked, the pediatric heart surgeon we talked to at Nemours?
He wasn't full of jokes, that guy.
He was like a robot.
Yeah.
And that's how you know he's good.
I will say that his bedside manner, because whenever we tell this story, we talk about him being serious, but I want to preface that by saying he was serious, but he was serious in like almost, he was made to talk to children and parents. He was like engineered for that.
No time for joking around.
No, but he was kind.
So if you have like quick comebacks like this doctor had with this gentleman's colonoscopy, and he's like, obviously he had that chambered where it's like, oh, I got fired from that job. I'm sure.
Chambered.
By the way,
I like it chambered.
By the way, that tells you your joke wasn't unique at all, and he's heard that a million. Because that's, I'm sure he gets the Michael Jackson.
Well, do your kids try to tell you jokes? Do your kids? Yeah. Every joke that Maisie goes to tell me, I know the answer to it. Every single one of them.
Yeah, no, I know.
Like she'll say, I can't think of them now, but they're all kid jokes that I'll use the amount of reps that I have to use, like, I don't know, joke logic to figure out what the joke is, and I'll answer it. I get them all, and it makes her so mad.
But I don't want the doctor to have that joke chambered in his mind, because that means that there's some other useful piece of information that may have been lost. Because now you got a bunch of jokes in there. I'm like, I want it all to be science in there. I don't know
if it works like that, though.
I don't want him to tell.
I like the irrationality of what you're saying, though. It's attractive to me.
So
it's the more Daniel thing you've ever said.
I want him to just say, like, you tell him the joke, and you're like, all right, sir, we're going to give you this many cc's of propofol.
Can I give you a real thing?
You're going to feel like this? Yep.
Can I give you a real thing that I don't think doctors would like, because it would almost be insulting, different for different? But I know John the Barber does this. If you are in a bad mood, or if you are feeling under the weather, or if you do not want to chirp, or if you don't like chirpy doctors, or if you do like serious doctors, why can't you request a certain bedside manner? Why can't you? Or is that insulting the doctor by taking away his freedom of his own personality?
Well,
would you fill that out? Like, you don't like uncomfortable situations. If you knew you could go to the doctor and at the top, before you answered any of your symptoms, you were like, do you want, all business, or do you want, like, I'll throw in a couple of, a couple of good classic racist jokes, and you could check what you want. Would you, like, right? I think that would work for you. And it would work for me too, because I'd go max jokes every time, max jokes.
Oh, I mean, we should even look at what these people scored on their tests.
They don't want you to see that. No, they don't want you to see that.
Yeah.
You know what sucks is because the guys that got LCs are probably your best doctors.
Are they?
I think they are. I don't necessarily think the guy that has no personality and is just a robot is your best doctor, because doctoring is a people business, not just a disease business.
Well, that depends on what your definition of the best is. It'll
be different for everybody.
Because for you, that emotional, the joking and making you feel at ease.
Well, it's important.
Is a part of it.
It's not number one, though.
Yeah.
You know that with me. It's not number one. I want a doctor that's a good. I don't want a goofball in. I want Carrot Top in there.
Yeah. You want the best possible doctor
with a good personality
that knows the most.
Just like women, I want the hottest one with the best personality.
Dude, this kind of reminds me of like Crystal with her knee. She went back to the doctor because she was like, my knee's still screwed up, and so
she's in the loop.
They
get in the medical loop.
She went to another doctor, which I was like, just forget about it. I'm just like,
just act like it's fine.
They said what they said. I don't know. Like, so she goes back to a new doctor, and then the doctor's reading her MRI report, and they're like, who wrote this? And then she's like telling the center that did it, and then the guy's like, they didn't even put they screwed up the reason you came in. They just said
they
chronic
spelled your name with a K.
Yeah, and then they didn't fill out certain things, and then they have to have this.
Who is Dr. Donald Duck?
And then she showed me, and I'm like, oh man, like one whole part of it was blank, like they forgot to fill it in. And then they put
that'll shake your confidence.
And then the doctor was like, they put chronic pain, but you had an injury, and like that the doctor needs to know that, or like the MRI person.
So it was just all wrong.
Yeah. And then it's just like, oh yeah, I always forget that, of course, that there are people that are bad at every job.
Yeah.
And then there are tons
at
of
every job.
Tons of Toms over there that are reading MRI reports and just copying and pasting stuff.
You'd
like,
be better than that. Give yourself some credit. Come on, man.
Now,
You'd be better than that. You'd fill out the report. You might misspell a few things, but it'd be filled out.
Yeah. Well,
you're not going to drop the ball in the report. Now, you're not lazy.
It depends on who I'm working.
You're not going to be able to spell spacula, but it'll be filled out.
Listen, if I'm working for big MRI and they don't care.
Oh, you're done. Yeah,
you know, like I'm like I hate this place.
Well,
I hate this company.
Do you remember when I went for my final back? It's not my back. Remember, I went to the doctor and he's like, "Okay, I'm looking at your back here." He's like, "It's not your back, it's your hips." Remember that? They're like, "Your back is fine."
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, I've been.
You've been saying for 10 years your back has been messed up.
I've been doing back stuff for forever. It has nothing to do with my back. It's just my hip affecting my back. Welcome back to Ailment with Tom and Dan.
Well, it is and listen, I understand it's complicated, and the human body is insanely complicated, and it's
also a miracle,
a practice.
though. The human body's a miracle, modern day miracle.
But and it reminds me that you do have to take your own personal health into your own hands sometimes, and like use your own, because no one cares as much as you do.
Well, that is true.
It's like if you like,
but a lot of people, I don't think they care. I think a lot of people don't care about their own health. It's probably one of the, I would say, like number one things that Americans neglect is our own health. I mean, obesity's out of control, and mega obesity is up 4% as of last week's Wall Street Journal. They did a big thing about, I think it's easy for everybody, kind of going back to what we were saying before about being busy, to get super busy and never think of it. You'd probably think of your wife or maybe your kids, your husband's health before you even think of your own,
Oh, yeah.
Let's go with this one right here.
Hey there, Tom and Dan. Hey guys, it's Kenny. Listening to Tom talk about old man things they used to do on a payphone, like calling 411 for the time. Did any of y'all ever do a collect call, but you used it as a way to share messages? Like you needed to get picked up, and so you would use 1-800-COLLECT, and then they would hear, "You have a collect call from, hey Dad, I'm at the ball, pick me up." And then that's how you would essentially get the message across, because you didn't have any money for the payphone. Anyway, just didn't know if y'all did that. Love you guys. Bye.
We totally did that, and I'm glad you mentioned 1-800-COLLECT, because that's one of the first times, and yes, I'm going to mention him twice in one segment, that's one of the first times I remember seeing a paid spokesperson in the form of Carrot Top and realizing, oh, this guy's getting stinking rich.
The 1-800-COLLECT.
Do you remember how many Carrot Top commercials that he had for 1-800-COLLECT?
Yeah.
It was like humongous. I'd love to talk to him and maybe it's been long enough where he'd give us a number, because he's super rich. But what were you paid for that, dude? Because that commercial was everywhere.
Yeah,
it reminds me very much of the Liberty insurance with the emu, and the mustache guy.
Yeah.
There's commercials if you're especially watching sports, they're everywhere. That's when you're watching sports, it was all 1-800-COLLECT.
Yeah, I remember doing that. Although I remember towards the end of 1-800-COLLECT, them trying to take that away in some way with lowering the amount of time they give you with saying your name to a point where you couldn't get in a full sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would have to get in fast, but I think there was a time where that stopped working. I think
you're right.
The mid to late 90s, I remember, or maybe we just went to a different, it was cheap. I don't know.
Right around the time that I remember 1-800-COLLECT being a thing, and I remember using the loophole of you'd call and you'd deal name. You'd be like, Dan, and then they'd say and your message. You'd be like, call me, pick me up at the skating rink, whatever. I remember getting a pager.
Yeah.
It was around that time, and because I had a pager, I thought it was important to. I think I started carrying a little bit of change for payphones in case I needed it.
But also
it's very fuzzy.
With the beeper, it allowed some form of communication anywhere you're at.
Right.
So then now your parents are like, "I'll beep you when I'm on my way." and then you didn't have to because you know the payphone was the only way to communicate.
Right. I'll beep you when I'm here.
Yeah. And
well, that's the one Mom and Dad would do. Like, I'll beep you when we pull up out front.
Yeah.
And that's when I would know that my ride is there. Yes, we did that one as well.
It's funny because you see the evolution of, like, I'm sure, like, 70s kids where it's like, oh, zero communication. It was all just like, hey, I'll be home at night. If not, I'm dead. Or whatever, you know, like,
right.
And then the same thing with the 80s too, and then in the 90s, and then there was like the collect calls. I feel like were that was an 80s thing, right?
It was a 90s thing.
Yeah, that would
have been late 90s.
When all the collect call companies really were.
I'm thinking 97, if I were 96, 95.
Like 95 through 97 or something, and then it went to beepers, and then
well, I had graduated in 94. And I would have gotten my beeper around that time too. I think 94, 95.
Yeah, because
I'd started Flagler, and I think around that time.
Yeah.
Can you call collect now? Is that even a thing?
I think it is still a thing. I just don't understand who is using it and for what purpose.
Okay.
But I think there is still
a way to do it,
a collect call thing, because like if you just had a landline and picked it up, I think there's a way for you to call international and pay for it somehow. You see what I'm saying?
I do.
Through a regular phone line.
Yeah. What about the red phone that's inside 7-Elevens? If I just pick that up, who's on the other end? What is that?
I don't even know what you
There's
mean.
like a little police desk inside some 7-Elevens where there's like a little desk.
Oh, a substation?
And a little phone. Where's the phone go to? Is it just a regular phone?
I have no idea what those police substations are for.
And you know what they do? They put it next to the lottery where you fill out your numbers, and it makes me nervous. I don't want some cop looking at my lottery.
Oh, I know I've seen substations in the.
We looking at my lottery
in the back of like 7-Elevens and stuff. But it's weird because everybody has a laptop in their vehicle now.
They do.
So what the hell do you need a substation for?
Don't know. You go poop, pick the phone up, say, "Who's all the end of this phone?"
Yeah, maybe it is just for bathrooms. Maybe
it might be. Let's try this one right here.
Hey guys, so I'm watching this documentary on Netflix called Dirty Pop. It's about old Lou Pearlman, and a couple interesting things. The first one is they have an AI Lou Pearlman reading excerpts from his book, which...
Andrea wants me to watch this. She's been bringing this up constantly. She's like, I want to watch this. They have an AI Lou Pearlman. I'm like, that's not a selling point to me. You know what I mean? Like, you tell, you got to see this. It's an AI Lou Pearlman. Seriously, the only way you get me to see that is if he were nude, and that would just be out of curiosity. I don't want to see the guy reading excerpts of his whatever.
Oh, that's pretty interesting. I haven't seen that before. We'll see. AI taking over everything. And two is they have a young Justin Timberlake, and he's showing off his room at the house he lived in, and he's got a picture of Janet Jackson on the wall, and he's like, oh, Janet Jackson, I love her. So he definitely did that on purpose. All right, later, guys.
I had heard that both of those I had heard. Those are both the only two things I think people are getting out of that Dirty Pop documentary is there is A, an AI Lou Pearlman, and B, Justin Timberlake had a poster of Janet Jackson on his wall in his room, and then he went on to expose her breast, which gave Tom a job.
The reason my career exists.
Gave Tom a job.
So with the Lou Pearlman thing, he basically was...
Didn't he
taking advantage?
Didn't he flee to Thailand for like a little bit of time?
And And
what's that feel like? What are you doing when you flee? Like if I were fleeing Orlando to Thailand, do I land in Thailand and then I get a taxi or an Uber Lyft to like a hotel and then I just get myself a cheap hotel room and then I just lay low in there? Is that what I do? What do you do?
Well, you need cash because you can't use your cards or anything because they know where you're at.
Right.
So you just have a bunch of cash, which I don't even know how you get a bunch of cash into Thailand. Maybe
I need a man on the ground. I need a contact in Thailand.
You would need a separate Bitcoin account. I'm sure there's a whole thing.
You know what I'm saying? I don't even know if they had Bitcoin when he was doing it.
No. But I'm sure he had international bank accounts. A lot of mega rich people do,
and he
keep money international.
He looks disgusting enough to know his way around Bangkok, if you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Like he looks disgusting enough to be like a Thailand normo, like he's a regular.
I think if you are if you have an idea that maybe one day you'll have to flee, I think you put money.
You bug out bag it.
Yeah, you put money in like Swiss accounts, like Bahamas or Cayman Islands.
Sure,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So you could access it anywhere in the world, and it's not tracked by the U.S. government. And then I think that ends as a bug out bag, like Daniel said. So then you
like a digital bug out bag.
Now,
do you have a bug out bag?
No. No reason to bug.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't either.
I have no.
I do have a revolver with one bullet in my t-shirt drawer, though. I do.
You should put two. Might as well fill it all up. If you don't need them all, you don't need them all. But maybe you'll need them all.
Maybe I'll just leave them loose and unloaded. Loose and unloaded.
Yeah.
That would be the name of my comedy special, by the way, is Loose and Unloaded.
That's called the Shawshank. You pull up your drawer, and then it's like, why didn't you load your gun?
It's just rattling around in there.
You're just a bunch of loose bullets rattling around. Like, just put them in the gun. It's just for storage. Anyway,
I mean, don't you like your drawers to sound nice? You want things rolling around in there?
Yeah.
My God.
Anyway, all right. We will see you tomorrow. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We are live on Twitch and YouTube, so if you like watching podcasts, come on over and watch us. We would love to have you. I've been talking to the chat room all morning. Just search at Tom and Dan Live on Twitch and also YouTube.
We are doing a completely free beer fest, November 23rd. It's the Bad Business Beer Fest.
It is back.
Then the day after is Sofas and Suds, which is the Sanford Couch Races.
They're both free events, and they're amazing Sanford events that if you've never been to them, you should come on out.
And just to explain the beer fest, we have tons of breweries coming out that give out free beer. Yep. We have live music playing. We have food trucks. It's a street festival, and it's all free.
It is.
Now,
a lot of headaches for Tom.
I just saw an announcement of a beer fest with literally, and I'm not even joking, the exact same offerings. We're just like local vendors, local food trucks,
bands,
live music. $70 ticket.
Yeah.
$70.
$70.
Like, I'm not like that. That's per person.
Yeah.
35 designated driver tickets. So if you're not even doing anything, it's $35. Our beer fest is 100% free.
It's 100% free. Now, all you need is an ID, and that's it.
It could be a fake ID. I don't care.
Yeah, it's not my business.
Yeah, you show the ID. That's enough for us not to get sued.
You're an American.
Also, we have no money, so we can't get sued.
What are you going to take? You're going to take my flip-flops? You can have my flip-flops. You can have my Crocs.
So, it's Halloween time, right?
Yeah.
And now...
I was just talking to my wife about Halloween. Maisie, no costume. Rudderless. We have nothing on the books. Nothing. No. We have no main idea. We have no idea what we're going to do. We haven't bought anything. Nothing. We have nothing.
So, I am becoming more and more grumpy towards Halloween.
I've noticed.
And
I would say in general, but we could go with Halloween. I would just
everything.
Yeah, I would just say across the board.
And let's just go ahead and admit, as Floridians, that our Halloweens are not as good.
I've always said
as
that.
Other,
It's too sweaty.
Yesterday,
cold Halloween is the right Halloween.
Yeah. Okay. So yesterday, we were supposed to do this October 1st because my boys do enjoy decorating the yard for Halloween. We've been doing it the same every year.
Calendar boys.
We started this tradition where we go to a Spirit Halloween or someplace and buy one yard decoration.
And in Castleberry, it's easy because they're everywhere. There's so many, oh my God, there's like 200 stores. What do you want? They got it all there. It's like the epicenter of Halloween.
Yeah. It should be our home office location for the mayor.
You should rename your Castleberry should be Halloween Town.
Anyway,
I have the body of Halloween Town's mayor, who didn't he just pass away? The black dude that plays the voice of the mayor of Halloween Town. I'm blanking on his name.
From Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah, super talented actor. Sorry, but that guy's great. I think he just passed away like yesterday or something. Or no, it was Oogie Boogie that died. Sorry, it was not the mayor.
Okay, Oogie
Dude,
Boogie.
That's terrible. Oogie Boogie died. That sucks. He's the only character out of that stupid movie I like is the big fat sack. I'm gonna put you in the sack, baby.
Well, the character's still alive, actually.
Well, that's true. The character lives with all of us. He lives with all of us, but the voice of Oogie Boogie dead.
And
God, Mr. Logic, suck it out the wind.
Another actor could do that same thing. No problem.
I could do a pretty good one.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at Oogie Boogie.
So anyway, back to Halloween.
Yeah.
It's just so we have this tradition. We go to the store and then we add it to the collection.
Well, let's go through some of the stuff you've got. I've been by there before. Last time I was there, you had some zombie heads that are stuck in the ground with hands.
Yeah, well, that's Zombo. That's what the boys used to call the zombie.
I love it.
And
Zombo.
then we got pumpkin head ghost that goes underneath the staghorn.
Okay.
And then
where is the American Ninja Warrior?
Oh, it's still
okay.
Yeah.
Still
that's
up.
where we hang dead body parts from.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I
We
like
got a
that.
bunch of that.
I like
the boys got that like 2 years ago, dead body parts. So we hang that from the American Ninja Warrior
Love
line
it.
that no one uses.
Yep. And then you're
it's
using
been
it.
up for 2 years.
Then you have Zombo.
Yeah. And then we have an inflatable tree, which doesn't go with anything. But
Inflatable tree.
Yeah, just an inflatable tree that we plug in.
Is it a spooky tree at least, or
It's
is
a spooky tree.
Okay, spooky inflatable tree.
Then we have some sort of tattered like old wedding dress that Crystal used that we get married to Drunky the Bear.
Oh yeah, so you hang some of your old trashy clothes out on the lawn,
and then we hang that off the oak tree.
But most
as
people
a ghost.
just think that it's just
it's just a
dryer's broke.
It's a bunch of garbage strewn across my yard.
But your boys love it.
Yeah.
So you love it.
Although they loved it more when they were younger.
Yeah.
And as they get older,
innocence starts going away because they're finding the joy of other humans and
yeah. Like they put up the like most of it, and then they're like, it's so hot, and this goes back to why it's less enjoyable. It was so GD hot yesterday and humid that I'm in Dukes, no shirt, sweating, and I'm putting up a spider web, and I'm like this. It does not feel Halloween at all.
It's miserable. It's the same reason I never liked Florida Thanksgiving. And I get a lot of heat for that. But it's just like, I don't want to eat all this thick and rich food. It's too damn hot.
Sometimes we do get a cool Thanksgiving.
Oh,
though.
if we do, I'll be super duper happy. But I feel like
it is though few and far between. But like sometimes it is cold because I camp every year in Thanksgiving, and sometimes it's like it gets real cold at night, and it's like nice cold weather, which is Thanksgiving weather. But it seems like it's getting we're getting pushed further and further back, where the cold starts coming like right before. Halloween maybe, and maybe not even then. Last year was a hot as a Halloween.
It was very hot,
and
I don't go out. I mean, like Maisie, she'll just tell me she doesn't want to go out when it's hot. Like she doesn't want to wear a costume or a dress or some garbage like that.
Less enjoyable.
Yeah, she just and now
it feels less like Halloween, and it's like we're kind of pretending. It's like we're in a different country, and we're pretending to be American and do Halloween.
It's one of the only flexes that I feel like people from up north or from the West Coast, when they get their horrible snow weather. It's really one of the only flexes that they have on us as Floridians. Like, look, I wear Dukes. Like, I mean, tiny Dukes almost every day of my life.
Yeah.
365, right?
Yeah.
Like, I could. I mean, very rarely does it get super cold here, but it does. They get the holidays. Like, I feel like Destination Christmas is something I bring up a lot with Andrea because it's just not cold here. Thanksgiving, too hot to eat the gravy. October, you don't want to walk around. You don't want to go to Halloween Horror Nights. It's 103 degrees outside.
Yeah. And
you show up there, it's 4:30. You're going to the first house. It's light outside. You're burning alive.
I can't even understand people. They were going to Halloween Horror Nights back in September.
Yeah,
like
103 degrees outside. You show up there at 4:30.
Yeah. God damn.
And then you've never been happier to be inside one of those warehouses for the maze because it's so freaking hot outside. But no, I'm with you. I'm with you 100%. What'd you guys add?
Some sort of little girl that is.
Oh, little girls are scary.
Like a ghost little girl that is supposed to be like a looking over a grave. Like
okay.
It's like it's some spirit Halloween Chinese trash.
Yeah. But they make it look nice. They put it in the spirit boxes now, and they make it look nice.
Yeah.
They got the branding and all of that.
And it's like $60.
No, they're expensive.
You're like, goddamn.
They're very expensive.
Yeah. Oh, and then also
it'll break too.
It's
gonna break.
Everyone, we had a jumping spider broken already.
Breaks,
Everything's broken.
They all break.
So we just put it out there, and then it's just a horrible decoration.
Every Halloween decoration you buy at a spirit-styled Halloween store, it's good for about 1 year.
Yeah.
And unless you put it back into the regular box, which Andrea always tries to do that. I'm like, what are you doing? Just throw it in a bin. What are you doing? No, Andrea has all the original boxes with she'll take we have a scarecrow. He's called they make it sound crazier than it is. He's a scarecrow, but they call him the Night Wish Master.
Oh,
he's the Night Wish Master. Okay, sure. But he stands out there with his arms like this, and he goes he's one of those ones that if he catches you walking by, he'll go
motion.
And start doing that sort of thing. And he was good for about 1 year, and then we put him back in the cardboard. And then the next year, he just shook a little less. One of his arms didn't shake quite right, or you got to reevaluate him. It's all plastic crap.
So, let me run this past you,
please. I don't know where you're going, but I like it.
And you probably have seen this online, but my friends Andres and Leanne, the Browns.
Mm-hmm.
So
I might know where you're going because my wife may have mentioned this to me as I was going to sleep last night.
Yeah.
And I laughed and laughed.
Yeah. No, I know you did. And I wasn't even going to talk about it because I was like, but now I figured out a way to involve one of our sponsors.
Okay. Yeah.
So now I'm like, well, I could justify it by saying now I'm making some money doing it.
Yeah, I knew that's what you were doing. But you were loopholing it so you could participate.
Yeah.
That's what I told Andrea.
I
go, he's only doing that so he can participate. He has to have a business foot in the door. If he doesn't have a business foot in the door with Fair Villa or something, right? Is that what?
Yeah, it's Fair Villa.
All right, let's talk about it.
Okay, well, you know me.
Because I think you're going to look great. I think actually now more than ever, you have the body where you could wear black leather pants, no shirt, eyeliner, and come in there you could do the devil lock Misfits. They're all jacked. The Misfits are all
they're not considered golf.
100%
really?
They are. Yeah, the gimmick is dead. The whole Misfits is that's goth.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Dude, you do. You let me style you.
I thought it was all whining about how your girlfriend left
Well, a little bit of that. But there's a lot of corpse effing. They do a lot of corpse effing.
Oh, I thought that was more just hardcore metal.
No, it's goth. So what you do, dude, you need
to... Cannibal Corpse? Is that goth?
Just straight. No, that's just straight death metal. That's way different.
Metal.
No, Misfits, it's a punk band, but it's goth. So here's what you do. You wear black leather pants with boots. Easy breezy. You'll just get a black leather pants at Fair Villa. You're going to get bracers on your arms, right? You look good. It's the best you've looked. You need some sort of Dracula amulet. And then we'll put your hair in a devil lock. We'll just put it straight down and then we'll put the gel in it so it's a point because you got long hair in the front. And then we'll put eyeliner on you and a white face like Misfits and you look cool as hell.
Well, let me just explain to the audience because they may not know what I'm talking about.
I just want to nominate myself for most fun on the show. I'm fun.
My friends Andres Land started this goth party around Halloween weekend, and it's adults only. You know what that means.
Yeah, I know what that means.
But
that means at some point a powdered ding dong will fall out of some leather pants.
And so then all my Miami friends have been attending this party, and everybody goes all out. They're not just wearing black jeans and a black shirt.
Well, that's what you wanted to do, right? You wanted to do the you know what that's called? DeLand High School tuba player. And black jeans, black shirt.
And it became a thing after every year where people try to outdo each other. So they're going full on, they're putting full makeup. They're buying every fishnet stuff, and then some of the wives. That part of it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
they jack them up.
So every year, Crystal sees all this fun, and she's like, "I want to go." And then I'm like, just they'll stop next year. I don't want.
We'll just stop by with a 6-pack of Miller Lite and hang out in the corner. Nobody wants to do that, man.
And I would kind of est on it. I was like, "Look at this. Grown adults."
That doesn't sound like you.
I'm like, "You're grown adults. Stay home and
be mad at your life. You're in your 40s. You're supposed to hate everything you do."
Yeah. It's a Halloween. That's a kid's thing. Anyway,
go to your room and shut the door. Sit in silence. Read the Bible.
So my wife has insinuated that if I don't start having more fun, she's gonna leave me. I think.
I've heard that.
Everybody's like, I was like,
yeah.
I have to lighten up.
I would also like to reiterate, there are other people that don't want to be around you if you're not going to be more fun, other than your wife.
Pretty much everybody. The only time I'm fun. My sons.
They love you so much.
They think I'm fun dad. They don't know. When they're adults, they're like, your dad was never fun. They'll be like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
All he did was play with us every day.
He was the most fun dad. They'll be like, man, you really missed out. My dad was rad.
Yeah. But with other adults, I don't want to have fun with them anyway.
I got you, dude.
But now I have to change my life.
A little bit. Baby steps. But dude, I think I got your costume.
Okay, so
easy.
Now,
you could be a good Dracula too. You could be a Dracula.
That's not golf. That's
totally
Dracula.
Goth. Yeah, but that's goth. Dracula is a gothic character.
No, like if I
castles and white faces and yeah, but that's all of that is gothic.
Like Crystal started sending me pictures of My Chemical Romance guy, whatever.
I wouldn't even say that's very gothy. That's more like pop punk goth.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about it.
Gerard.
I know it's all black, but then I start getting into like Leather Daddy, which
see, I would say that
I don't think it's much Leather Daddy. It's more like sad black.
I kind of agree with the chat room. See, like My Chemical Romance, I see is more emo than gothy. Like goth to me is like like more like you need a powder white face with really black like eyeliner and features,
like the Crow.
The Crow is gothy.
Yeah, so very trench coat. Although
don't go trench coat. Yeah, you're gonna look like pervert.
Pervert or shooter of some sort.
Yeah.
It's like So,
but that's not. That's just cry for help. That's not really goth.
But the biggest iconic goth character is the Crow, right?
Let me ask, what is the biggest?
Like if I just show up as the Crow,
character,
they'll be like, "Oh, that guy's got the goth."
This guy's got the blanking goth.
Like as far as character wise.
No, you know what? ChatGPT nailed it. The biggest goth character in Hollywood would be the look of Morticia Addams from the Addams Family. So black dress, all white, long black hair. So we got your hair is good. You could throw in a little bit of that washout color that it's in a purple bottle. I've used it for stuff before. You'd be fine.
The Addams Family dad, he's considered goth.
Yeah.
He looks like a porno director.
He does. He does look a little. It looks like John Waters.
Yeah, because he got the gable.
I think you could do Edward Scissorhands was kind of goth, and I had that. You want my old Edward Scissorhands costume?
I feel like that's a cop out, and you're going more Halloween.
Okay, that's
fair. You know what I'm saying? Like to the other adults, because none of them dressed like a person.
Wear? What does Mr. Brown wear at the goth party?
Oh, he full on. I'll show you pictures.
Yeah, and then I'll be able to describe it. Like, does he do the white makeup on his face? Does
I don't think that would be considered whiteface. I think because he's brown.
Yes, I didn't think about that. You know what?
So I think they stay away from that.
Does it work that way?
Well, he's a teacher too, so I think he just avoids putting makeup on his face just for any confusion. Because nowadays everybody's mad.
Interesting question. Is there anything you won't wear? Like I would say if you were a male black comedian, a dress is out. They don't like wearing dresses.
No, I'm fine with dresses.
So anything you'll wear, you'll wear anything.
It's like, but I do like.
Is there anything off the table as far as like I don't want to do that? I don't want to put on makeup. I don't want to wear a wig. Is there anything?
No. Because
everything's on the table.
Because the thing I want to go over the top because if I do it a little bit, then I stand out.
Well, over the top is Sylvester Stallone, and that's more like a more like a muscly 18-wheeler driver.
If I just show up, black pants, black shirt, some eyeliner, people are gonna be like, come on, you didn't even try. Yeah, like you didn't, so I have to do like,
okay, I got your outfit,
cod piece.
No, you do leather pants,
and I'm like, I'll do full pierce, like I'll pierce my face.
You do
for real.
Okay, you do vinyl pants. Okay. Then you do one of those fishnet Hardy Boys shirts.
Yeah, fishnet.
Yeah, fishnet shirt. Then you do white makeup face.
Yeah.
And then you long black wig.
Okay, I gotta go long black.
Swedish metal goth.
Okay, all right. I like that.
And that'll look dramatic. Okay, and long devil goatee. Stick on long devil goatee.
Yeah, I was about to say, can I grow that?
Yeah, no, we'll just stick. We'll put some spirit gum on there.
Yeah.
Are you excited about this?
No, not at all.
Is Crystal excited about it?
Oh, super excited. She sends me pictures of clothes.
And what is she gonna wear?
I have no idea. Don't care. And then that makes me mad. I'm like, come on. And then I'm like, one of my sons is going to end up like me.
Now, I did hear something about this party that you're kind of leaving out that my wife told me, and she clarified it with Andres in the WhatsApp. It is known that this party, if you do not dress up, you are not allowed inside.
No, I know. Yeah.
And Andrew's like, no, that's not the case. That's not the case. You'll let people in. And he's like, no. If you don't dress goth, you're not at the party. You're not allowed in.
But by the way, I'll get in. Who's gonna? You're gonna let?
No, he said no. He said you're not allowed in.
I'll be screaming around the outside of the
breaking the windows.
I'll be like, TC's out here, wants to see his friends.
He's throwing a fit.
Yeah. Like come on, just let me sit over in the corner.
Yeah.
No, but I'm going to dress up. I'm going to do the whole thing.
Okay.
And
we'll see.
And I'll try to. enjoy it or whatever that means.
I'll try to, as you say, enjoy it.
I was standing around. Look at this. We're all dressed
look at me.
stupid.
I'm dressed up. So are you. All right.
It's bringing joy.
It's a waste of time.
Right.
Joy, 3 joys.
You happy right now, or you just drunk like normal, or you all just drunk? That's all this we're doing, right?
We're all just drunk, right? All right, we shut her down.
Yeah. We're doing it. If we're gonna actually go and do some adult games or something, like then I'm like,
are we gonna swing or can I take my makeup off? Right? So
yeah.
Look, I have on a see-through fishnet shirt.
Yeah.
Are we going to at least do some soft swinging, or do I need to go? I'll just go to bed.
Okay, let me bitch for a second.
Yeah, please.
Again, because I've been going to my friends' get-togethers for 25 years.
No swinging?
And nothing.
Okay, the last time we were kidsless, I asked your wife to expose her breasts to me, and I got turned down. So I'm all for it.
And all we do is we pick a house, and then we go there.
And then Andres plays the same songs we've heard.
Yeah. And then we all just get drunk.
Yeah, and complain about our family.
Then just the small talk, and then just catch up, and we just get
and you're done with that.
Annihilated drunk, and then we leave. And that's it.
And you're done with that.
Well, I'm just saying, if that's all we're gonna do, just dress in a fishnet stocking, then what are we doing all this for?
Right.
Like we're gonna
Let's
do
step
something.
it up.
Yeah,
Come
gonna do
on.
something
soft
else.
Swinging. So you're requesting soft swinging.
Oh, what's just something?
Like a kiss?
I don't know.
Like a make out with someone else's wife?
Yeah, I mean, whatever it is, I just want to do something abnormal.
What's the least step up you would take?
I mean, at this point,
spin the bottle, a little spin the bottle.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind kissing some of my friends' wives.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I thought about that.
Yeah,
I don't want to have sex with my friends' wives, but I wouldn't mind trying to lay a really passionate kiss on them and then pulling back and looking into their eyes and seeing if I wowed them a little bit.
As all my other friends watch.
Yeah. And then I look at all of them in the eye. I look at all of them in the eyes.
Yeah, and they're filming.
And I'm talking girls and guys. I kiss all the dudes and I'll kiss all the girls.
Yeah. And then I think to myself, like, Crystal's never gonna let me live this
time.
Yeah,
I better make this one good.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna get to do this again.
She's gonna bring this up every day for years. Probably not even worth it.
I dress like a goth.
I don't even want kissing. It does nothing for me. Zero.
Should we pivot to the Rams?
Yeah. Let's do.
All right. There is a story that you actually pointed out to me that I'll just read.
My mom sent me this, by the way.
That's crazy.
My mom is into TikTok now.
Thank you, Mama Van.
Scrolls TikTok high off her ass.
I love it. Yeah.
And then finds stories and then just shares them with me.
She could be our new producer. We'll set her over here in the corner. She's like, I got some stories for you boys. All right. This is a Montana rancher, Arthur Jack Schubarth, 81 years old, sentenced to 6 months in prison for cloning a near-threatened species of a sheep and selling them for captive hunting. He cloned, now I'm putting that in air quotes, he cloned a Marco Polo sheep from Kyrgyzstan, which is a protected species, and sold its offspring to hunting preserves. He and 5 others were involved in the scheme from 2013 to 2021. But we were kind of digging into this a little bit, and we have a video. Let's play the video. It explains it better than I will.
This from a local news clip that my mom sent me.
Here, check this out.
An 81-year-old man in Montana who's been charged with federal felony wildlife crimes for cloning a giant foreign sheep here in the U.S. for hunting purposes. Let me try to explain this. So this 81-year-old man, his name is Arthur Schubarth. He imported sperm, tissue, and testicles from a Marco Polo sheep, the largest in the world.
Who's the guy laughing in the background because the guy said sperm and testicles? What kind of journalist are you? What kind of journalist are you, dude? You're laughing at that? That's my job, not your job.
And then successfully took that material and made a full living sheep out of it. Then he crossbred that sheep with a Rocky Mountain Bighorn sheep and created a hybrid sheep that he called the Montana Mountain King. And the plan was to sell those, which he actually did, to people who wanted to stock preserves exclusively for hunting. The authorities were not fans of this move, and they've given him a 6-month sentence. The judge said this is to deter anyone from, quote, changing the genetic makeup of the creatures on this earth.
There you go.
So there's a couple things that were sensationalized by the media. That one is the word cloning.
Yeah.
Because when I first
saw
this,
like use that to dumb it down for people to understand what was happening.
Yeah, but also it's a buzzword and people are like cloning.
Yeah.
Because when I heard this, I was like,
politicized.
what?
The word clone is a politicized word.
So because that's not the definition of cloning. Like that's making a genetic replica of whatever you're making, you know, saying like
it's genetically exact.
Yeah, as the whatever whatever animal that you clone.
And that's not what this old man was doing. I would classify what this old man was doing as breeding.
Yes, and now
crossbreeding, right? I think crossbreeding would be the term.
Well, the interesting part is I read a bunch of stories because even this guy kind of described it, at least by my understanding, a little bit wrong. So he was able to get in an embryo from a pure Marco Polo sheep, which a bighorn sheep.
Kazakhstan or from the stands. It's out there in the stands.
And then so with that pure embryo, all right, he was able to then basically inseminate a regular sheep that he had, that was here in the United States in Montana.
Yeah.
And then basically it was a surrogate to give birth to this purebred Marco Polo sheep that they called the Montana Mountain King.
Yeah, right? The MMK, yeah.
And then once they had the purebred Marco Polo sheep, then he started breeding that with other like bighorn sheep to create these
he
gigantic
would fertilize
sheep.
the eggs in domestic sheep or other species they use, and they would require artificial insemination, like just the standard artificial insemination.
And then so these, and I guess that Marco Polo sheep can get up to 300 pounds, and the horns 5 feet. What like it's just a gigantic,
it's humongous
ram,
a big ramming machine.
And by the way, this 81-year-old man is a real man for sure, right? Like this guy is the dad from Legends of the Fall, right?
Yeah, he's like an old rancher.
Yeah, which by the way, imagine how mad he was that the government stepped in and put him in jail for this.
He says it's ruined his life. He says he's done. Yeah, and at 81, you can't really argue with him, right? Like you can't really argue with him for, I guess you can see the problems in what he was doing. But I didn't know, and I don't know, and I think this is what you were saying to your point. I didn't know this was even a thing.
Well, I guess you start, because I was like, is, genetically modifying species illegal? But it's more about the import and export of a particular species and selling it.
Invasive species, diseases, it goes into that. There's a thing.
It's like any invasive species. What was the act called?
It's called the Laney Act. Yeah, there's this act called the Lacey Act. And the Lacey Act, let's see here. The Lacey Act, here it is. The Lacey Act is a U.S. federal law that was first enacted in 1900 to combat illegal wildlife trafficking. It's one of the oldest wildlife protection laws in the United States and is primarily focused on preventing the trade of illegally taking, possessed, transported, or sold wildlife, fish, or plants. It has been amended many, many times. Most notably in 2008 to include provisions for protected plants, plant products such as timber that are harvested in violation of foreign or domestic laws. So basically keeping things that should be where they're at, instead of having them take over areas they should not be.
Yeah, you can import animals that are...
Or plants, the lily pad. I mean, look at the St. John's,
invasive,
right? I mean, not a...
And that's what they were saying. They didn't want these animals to get loose and then into the population of the native rams because it screws that up.
Yeah, Did he import the embryo? Yes, absolutely. From the stands. He got it from one of the stands. And then but you know what? How he did that was really interesting because I read that too. Hold on, let me tell you this. See if I can find this because it breaks down kind of how he got the material. So he smuggled in the parts.
Imagine how many times he showed his other Montana friends.
Like, look at this.
Yeah, he was like, look what I made.
He did the Jerry Jones. He's got a 20-inch head. He got a 40-inch, 8-inch waist, and got a 26-inch ram weenie. So check this out. So he obtained genetic material, likely tissues or cells from Marco Polo sheep that were smuggled into the U.S. The genetic material was then sent to a laboratory where scientists would have used somatic cell nuclear transfer, SCNT, to create cloned embryos. I don't even know how that works. They created the embryos, and this is how they did it.
So they didn't get the embryo.
They created the embryo because in SCNT, the nucleus of a somatic body, the cell, from the donor sheep is inserted into an egg cell that has its own nucleus removed. The egg is then stimulated to divide and create an embryo.
So they literally just use the genetic material
to split the cell and make an embryo. It's crazier than what you think.
Now, what company does this?
That's the part where I couldn't find. I started digging for you, trying to do research on where did he send it to do it? Because they'd be more culpable than this old man. Just because some dumb old man had an idea of hey, give me that SCNT and split that, make me one of them there. You're right.
Yeah.
You could have said no, we're not doing that, but somebody at the laboratory did it, or was this old man savvy enough to do it?
Or was it the laboratory in a different country? That could be it.
That's probably the answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some laboratory in Germany that will split anything.
I mean,
right?
could have been in the stand. Could have been in Kazakhstan, right? They could have been right there. Like,
Actually,
we'll split it for you.
I'll go South America. But it's a fascinating story. And the guy was doing this all to make these gigantic rams so that he could sell them for hunting purposes. Because apparently there are lots. And then I started getting into a YouTube hole about like all the hunting preserves.
He did it for a decade, dude. Where are all their sheep?
They probably euthanized them all.
Well,
which sucks too.
They don't have exact numbers. Some of them are like he sold.
Oh,
so
yeah,
some of them will be
out.
You know, that's kind of the beauty of. It's not beauty, but that's kind of the funny or ironic part of like even a show like Chimp Crazy that kind of rides parallel to something like this is that I don't think we know how many chimps are out there. I really don't think we do. I think maybe we have a good idea, and I'm sure PETA tries to keep their thumb on it. But, I mean, these people try to hide this stuff, and it's big business.
It's interesting. Like, I look at it like plants, kind of. Like, it's amazing what plants will do and what you could do with them, like crossbreeding them, making clones of, lots of plants you can make clones of just by taking clippings of a plant and it'll grow a new plant,
Yeah.
And there's so you start and then you can crossbreed. Like you could take a plant and then basically take another plant and attach it to the plant, and then that branch will grow. Like they do this with like cocktail plants all the time. Like we'll take a lemon, lime, and a orange tree.
Sure.
And basically they'll start with like the lime tree, and then basically put orange trees and lemon branches on it, so it'll grow all the fruit
on there.
Essentially grow all that fruit from one base, and it's like weird things that you could start manipulating. And then they've been doing this with like dog breeds for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Like interbreeding dogs to the point where
where's the Lacey Act?
Well, those are all like domestic animals, and then you start getting into.
Are there rules about that? Though, let me hear me out on this. Let's say I had a Great Dane.
Yeah.
And let's say I wanted to take a Great Dane and then take something obviously ironically small and crossbreed them in a weird way. I mean, I'm sure people would have some sort of thing to say about it, right? I mean,
that's what they do.
They do that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, shouldn't we stop that?
No,
I mean, aren't there smaller dogs whose birth canal is so small, like because we've screwed with them so much in the
pugs are like that.
Yeah,
like,
we've ruined these breeds.
Yeah, they're I think pugs they've been so inbred that they have so many problems because of it. Like
Dalmatians
snoring,
too. Like remember when I used to rescue Dalmatians? I mean, so many of their I feel like their temperaments, like we bred them crazy.
Yeah.
You know, like I had one good one. The other ones are they'll bite you.
And it's seemingly, imagine 100 years from now, like how easy it may be for local companies.
ChatGPT, clone my dog.
Or like to be able to do this. Like
what would you clone?
Well, They've been talking about like bringing back the woolly mammoth for a while.
Yeah, bring it back and then blow its head off.
Like they found
for hunting, right? Or we're gonna put it to. You know what? Bring it back and slave labor these things.
Well, the problem is that too many people have God enmeshed into all this, and they don't like it. You know what I'm saying? So they're like, you can't play God and stuff like that. I'm like, we're playing it already.
I mean,
yeah. Like, look around. That's what we're doing.
Every afternoon on Xbox, I'm God crazy.
And like, they think they found enough woolly mammoth DNA. I think I read a story about this that they believe that they can bring back. Basically, essentially, maybe not 100%, but what it would
similar.
It would look like a woolly mammoth. You know, like they just breed it with an elephant and have DNA.
I'd go see that.
You
put that at the Sanford Zoo. They got a woolly mammoth. Oh my God, you crazy?
Well, that's why.
Or the life exhibit at the Science Center, and Jeff's like, "Hey, we got a woolly mammoth." I'm like, "Oh my God!"
Yeah. No, I think that's kind of why everybody.
I wonder if Jeff from the Science Center would let me sit on top of it or stand on top of it.
Well, imagine if there's no rule. Like, we'd have woolly mammoths everywhere.
Oh, my God.
We'd be hunting them. We'd have them.
Oh, my God.
You'd be riding it at the fun spot.
No, at the beach. It'd be more fun at the beach. I feel like just me and my woolly mammoth. We're at the beach. I'm at New Smyrna. I'm walking down the beach, and I'm, like, just trying to pick up chicks. I'm like, you want to ride my woolly mammoth? She gets up there. She pulls her teeth out. We're riding. The cops are trying to stop us. I'm like, stop that cop. The woolly mammoth is just stomping the patrol car. They're not going to shoot me.
But they'll shoot
they'll shoot the woolly mammoth.
Yeah, then
I'll make another one.
It's like then it goes crazy, and then
I would feel bad about that if the thing went crazy and like grills started destroying all the kids are over on the monkey bars. They started smashing the monkey bars up,
and the cop has to
started throwing some alt-right loggers at it.
He has to do that move where he goes to his trunk to get his AR from there.
Oh that's sad. It's sad when you ever notice some.
It's
cops,
like keep it in next to your seat.
Here's something I've noticed from watching a lot of live PD or the like thereof is that when cops go to the back, the ones that you don't want to mess with, like they'll pull out a drawer and it's so nice looking, like their stuff. They've been waiting to kill somebody. Like it's so nice and organized. Yeah, it's all organized, and they've been waiting for you to hold up in your home and say you're not coming out. Let's. You want to do one voicemail before we get out of here?
Yeah.
We got a couple here.
I will say the hunting preserve. So like, to me.
Is this where you defend hunting preserves because
no. This is where I'm like asking what the joy of hunting. This all goes back to
it's blowing someone's head off.
No, well okay. So for me, I understand hunting when it's hunting animals in their natural environment, right?
You're very much like Nugent on that.
And where it's like, okay, and then like you hear Joe Rogan talk about like, going back and like, shooting an animal, tracking it for days, finally killing it at the end, then harvesting all of its, meat, and then
taking an ice bath in its corpse. That's what I do. I actually lay in its hide and take an ice bath.
And then so like, to me, if I was a hunter and I'm like, and my dream was to hunt a Marco Polo ram, right?
That's not my dream. I want to hunt a human. I want to hunt a homeless man.
Yeah, I'd like to hunt like someone that is super fast, not like a homeless man.
I would hunt a homeless man with a tracker collar on it. I want a tracker collar and a homeless, and he'd set him loose in Orlando, and I'll find him.
Like I'd rather hunt an athlete that could or a survivalist.
Too hard.
But that's the point. You make it hard.
Just give me a homeless man on a bike. Homeless man on a bike. That's fast.
So to me, the Marco Polo sheep, like the part of that bucket list thing is to fly to Kazakhstan or whatever.
Yeah.
Then get the permit.
Very nice. Meet Borat. Get an autograph, obviously.
And then go and then do the hunting in the home where the animal lives naturally.
Okay. Dude, that's gonna be hard. Don't rams hang out on mountains? And you
yes,
it'd
be hard. But
when you shoot them, they fall, and that's gonna be cool.
And then that whole journey, and then how hard that is and how rare that is to do would be part of it. And then you import the animal back to taxidermy it and put it in your house and this whole thing. And then you got hey, I flew to Borat's hometown and then killed this
I killed the ram.
This Marco Polo sheep,
and he fell off the mountain.
Yeah. And then Borat was there.
Yeah, he's like, very nice. But I shot
my
wife. He's like, wizard sleeve.
So if I live in Montana and then I'm like, oh, this guy has these things that is
so you're saying it's not the same.
And then I chained it like Jurassic Park to and I'm like just going there and I take a golf cart out and then I shoot it. And then it takes all the trophy.
But it's not like chained. It's walking around. It's more like a stocked pond.
It's like if someone gives me a Super Bowl ring. And then I'm like, I've got a Super Bowl ring. And then I'm like, okay, well, you just bought that this guy pawned it because he got a fentanyl addiction. And it's like, well, that's nothing. You bought a Super Bowl ring on eBay. If you won a Super Bowl, even if you were a backup kicker or whatever, you still earned the Super Bowl ring. And I feel like this is not really earning the trophy.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about now. You're talking about that big fat QB that won a Super Bowl with the Patriots. You remember that guy? He was the big fat. He was a big, ginormous, mega fat QB. He's really good.
Not
super
Drew
talented.
Bledsoe, right?
No. Super talented. He's a backup QB for New England, and he played. And he won. He was a backup.
Oh, a backup for Brady?
Backup for Brady, and he won. And Zolak? Maybe I'm right on that. Big fat QB backup, won a Super Bowl. Then he left, and then he went, and he was the general manager and the player for the Arena League, and he won the whole Arena League as the QB general manager. And he's bigger than ever. I mean, the fattest QB I've ever seen. Oh. Do you know what I'm talking about? And then he died. They did a 30 for 30 on him or something.
No.
Scott Zolak. Yeah, Scott Zolak. You need to watch this guy. When he played in the Arena League, the dude could throw it so good. It was amazing. Like, you'd watch him throw, you'd be like, my God, what a quarterback. But he looked like John Goodman at his fattest. Humongous.
He was that big?
I have to show you this guy.
Weird that he was the backup for Brady.
Yeah, he was no joke, though. The dude was a legitimate good QB, but at his beefiest, he was really big and died. Maybe that's not the guy, but I don't. But the guy I'm talking about, eventually, when he got released from the NFL, he went back into the Arena League, and he became like a manager plus a QB, and then he ended up winning the entire Arena League.
Well, he probably is just fat for a quarterback, and that's what we're like, whoa, that guy's fat. But in normal life, he'd be considered like your most fit friend.
No. This guy,
he could have been that fat.
It's honestly, there he is. Okay, there he is. Here's a dude. Come on.
Oh yeah, that guy is real fat.
Yeah, this guy's mega fat. This is from TikTok. Let's see if I can put this up for people to see. I'm not trying to be mean.
No, yeah.
Here he is. Here he is.
That's fatter than I thought.
He is ginormous, dude.
This guy right here was a quarterback legend, a.k.a. Hefty Lefty, a.k.a. Pillsbury Throwboy, a.k.a. Abominable Throwman. Jared Lorenzen is his name. This is him playing for an indoor football team called the River Monsters. They had him listed at 320 pounds, but reports are saying he was close to 400. Just look at the agility, though. Not bad for a guy that's built like a defensive tackle. Growing up, he was must-watch TV. He played at Kentucky from 2000 to 2003, and he holds about all their passing records. Unfortunately, the Hefty Lefty's life got cut short in 2019 at the age of 38 due to an infection in his kidneys and heart after his weight got up to over 500 pounds.
There you go. How cool is that guy?
So he didn't play.
No, he did play the NFL.
Oh, he did?
I'm pretty sure he did. My buttons aren't working here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did play in the NFL. I thought he did. I could be wrong on that, but dude was killing it.
Old Hefty Lefty.
Hefty Lefty, Pillsbury Throwboy. There you go.
Right.
We got to get out of here, don't we? Yeah,
do
we do.
Okay.
Is there anything we need to plug?
Besides our Bad Business Beer Fest and Sofa and Suds coming up.
Yeah.
We got a BDM event coming up in October, but you have to be a BDM to get invited to that. So
do we
sign up.
Still need couches? Do we still need recliners to enter?
Yeah,
Do you have a business that has ever wanted to have thousands upon thousands of people look at your business for free? And
it costs the registration for the couch or the recliner, which is nothing. But other than that, and then the time it takes to build it, put it together, you could have some free advertising.
But you get the day, and they take care of your team, and it's super fun. And it's probably 2 of Sanford's premier events, and we would absolutely love to see you down there.
If you want to sign up to have a couch in the race or a recliner, easiest way is through the Facebook event page, or just email me, tom@tomanddan.com. I'll send it over to Mike Smith. But Mike Smith, the owner of the current seafood counter,
yes,
he's the one that's been putting together Sofa and Suds. It was his idea from the very beginning, and he is in charge of all the couches and recliners. But I'll forward you the email to him.
My wife was watching the same thing I was watching. He won his Super Bowl with the Giants. He played for the Giants from 04 to 07, and then he backed up Indianapolis in 08. But he won his Super Bowl with the Giants. I misspoke, not the Patriots. But he won with the Giants. The dude was a badass, like a legitimate. He just had throwing, like Jim Colbert. Some people just have natural throwing abilities.
Yeah. And even in school, he wasn't as big. He kind of just let himself get that way.
I think he realized he could still do it, and he's like, I don't care.
I got this big gut, no problem.
No big deal.
All right, we'll see you on Monday.